get on to Wednesday's trading. Let me ask you this. What do you think about this spring? Is this a spring that you would take? This was last Wednesday. Would you buy this little spring here? We've got a nice uptrend going, got good demand coming in. What do you think? You got to answer. I got a ton of people in here. You got to tell me, would you take this, yes or no? Just a Y or a N. And it doesn't matter if you get it wrong. We're going to learn a little bit here, okay? Give me a sense here. This could almost be a first lower low. Good, Tom. Nice comment, because that's exactly what it is. Would this be a downside absorption of demand? No, you're getting too technical for me. That's too complicated. I have no idea what that means. Would you put a time limit on holding a trade? You can use a time stop, 3 bars or something like that. David says in his book that time can be equivalent to volume. Yeah, I don't want to get into that though. I don't really want to do that, but it can be. And that's part of what the Weiss wave is about. But that's a long discussion. The language of the crowd psychology, not price action. How would you describe what exact... In the language of crowd psychology, not price action, how would you describe what exactly is happening in a spring? It's more of a testing action, but a more aggressive testing action where the crowd maybe is lulled into trying to short, going down below the low, but quickly gets wrong-footed, or at least some members of the crowd do, and that creates some of this fuel to drive the market on up. Number 8 is a Wyckoff schematic. Yeah, it's basic Wyckoff. That's right, Dean. Good to see you, by the way. Data point number 3, what if the market only springs the inner swing lows but not the big swing low to the left? Would that still be a good spring? No, it wouldn't. How do you set the target? For springs, we're just looking for a drive up above the last swing high. So Matt, this is your last swing high. If this is a spring, then we're looking for a move up into here somewhere. And you can use your trend channels and stuff to get a sense of what that might be. But there's no measured move in that. Dean says no. Victor says yes. No. Down volume is large. Good, Edmund. Tom says yes. Key bar reversal into supply in market. No. Too much down volume. No change behavior in the wave. Supply emerging. Too much supply after a lack of demand. Good, Brian. That's the key thing right there. Is the key thing. Okay, so a bunch of other comments here come in. Sorry, I'm asking you to answer, and I didn't realize that all these comments were in here. So this is not a good spring. And for the reasons that we talked about, this was, if we go back up a few slides here, this is data point number 4. Yes, that's right. Data point number 4. Somebody mentioned that earlier. We have no shortening of the thrust here, but look at the upside volume. It's really good here. Really good here. There's a multi-day high, and that's partly the reason it gets above that multi-day high. And we do get some shortening of the thrust, but the key thing is that the upside volume, there's no demand up here. Then look at the size of the volume coming down. This line in here is going to be confusing to you, but if you look at this in terms of waves, these are the waves down, and this is the wave here. So don't let this line confuse you. This is a much larger wave than we've seen, or a wave down than we've seen in the entire uptrend. So this is actually, so the volume in here is light and the volume is high coming down, and the line is actually a fooler. This is one of the reasons why I don't like these little nubs of support here. you want to see it come down. This is actually a first lower high trade setup. And as we come up, we're looking for a light volume. That's what we get. We get a couple of opportunities, in fact, to enter this trade. I didn't draw that in on the second one, but there you are. We have we can draw in the trend channel. We can do pulse in here as well. But one of the things that when we have, this is a multi-day high, I put this in on purpose. When we have a situation like this where there's no demand up in here, the odds are very good it's going to come back down to that multi-day high. This is multi-day high. I mean by that, it's probably 3, maybe 4 days back. This was a high, and then there was a couple of days down, and then we came up and over it, and now we're at that multi-day high. And so it's like a magnet. If we have no demand up in here, it's a magnet pulling you back to that level. Okay, so you can use that as a target as well. So now, just to orient you, this is a longer chart. This is the end of this is the morning session here, and the market starts to rally off of the multi-day high, and this black arrow is now over here. Here's the multi-day high. We do rally up a little bit into the noon hour, and then we come down again. We get good solid volume coming down, and then this is another trade setup. And look at the light volume in here. The clustering we call this clustering of closes. You got 4 bars. Basically, the closes are all the same. You could short, once you see 3 of these or 4 of these in a row, you can just short it. And then that you can put your trend channel on, do a measured move. It's basically the same thing, and you're going to be out somewhere down around in here. Now notice too, we do break that trend line. We talked a little bit about this. Some of the folks brought this up as a point before, but we get an upthrust in here that's also tradable and gives, not a bad little trade, probably 7-8 points in here, 6 anyway, if you hold it into the coming into the close. And why? It's broken the trend line, yes, but there's so much supply here, and I don't see a lot of demand. In fact, just the opposite. As we come up into the, this is A, B, and C, as we come up into the upthrust area, the demand falls off. So this is a low demand upthrust, and it just is a solid trade to make, even though we did break the downtrend line.